Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
A guest star here in this phenomenal race. Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin's still lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to PSGL Season 35, round number 8 I believe. And we head to the first race of the new year. Happy 2024, hopefully everybody is doing well. It is circuit to Barcelona, Catalonia for the Spanish Grand Prix. It is PCF4. Unfortunately, Myth is unable to be here today, so you got myself, Jessball, in the commentary box. For those of you that don't know me, I commentate on PSF1. I'm the head of comms here as well. And we should be in for some really good action. Unfortunately, the co-comm that's meant to be here at the moment is MIA at the moment. I don't have a clue where he is. Hopefully, he'll be able to join me as soon as he can. But whilst we do that, we'll have a quick run through of the standings before we head in to the main event. So we've got Joris, who's currently on top of the standings. He's 15 points clear of Elliot in second place as well. They got 1-2 the last time they raced at Singapore. We got Simon Villalot in third place. He wasn't here last time we raced in Singapore, but he's joint third with Topper in fourth place. We got Corin Dolo in fifth. We've got Alan Bazanak in sixth. Jeremy in seventh. And we got Emil, Kuba, Andreas, and Matthew Bassett rounds up your top 11. So looking quite close at the moment in terms of that. And also, we've got some results coming up for you as well, which is very, very exciting. We obviously got Joris that won the race at Singapore, but we had no stewards reports, which is really great to see. I'm kind of very relieved that no one reported each other to the stewards room, which meant that there was some clean races to be had at the moment. Hopefully we'll see the same today, but you never know. So obviously Matthew Bassett doing well in P3 in Singapore as well. Now we're heading to a different circuit than what we would expect as well. Obviously we're heading to the European side of things. It's a track which a lot of people like on this year's game with the removal of the last chicane. Obviously they had a pre-season race when I was covering it on the PS side, but PC have never been there for a while. So it'll be great to see how these drivers will fare here tonight. And without further ado, let's get into the action then. Oh, what's happened there? There we go. We've got there in the end, ladies and gentlemen. We got there in the end. So 16 drivers today, and loads of different characteristics that you can find with this track. So we got Javier, who's on top at the moment, but let's go right on board with top as I get rid of the UI. There we go, and go on board with someone. So top 8 is heading towards the final corner, passing the old chicane coming up now through turn 14, and he's going to exit that corner up to the line, and it's a 1:10.8. So we're already seeing some lap times which are very, very impressive for these drivers. So hopefully we will see that as we go through the session, as we've got a few people in the pit. So that's everybody that's done their laps so far. So we've got Javier out on top with Danielle Parodi in P2. We got Andreas Franco in third, Matthew Bassett in fourth, Elliot Noren in fifth, Corin Indolo in sixth, Barante Elkert in seventh, Horace Crozen in eighth, and Cooper in ninth. Apologies, by the way, if I get all these names wrong. I think I only found out a few days ago that I was covering as well. So, you know, trying to find it hard to cover these names as well. By the way, for those of you that know who what player is, it's Yareem, apparently, as well, according to the chat. I got a bit confused as to who he was as well, believe it or not, but luckily we have people in the chat that know that as well. Times I'm expecting probably around a 110.3 for pole position. It'll be interesting to see your pole predictions coming up to find out how everyone is going to be doing. As there's a lot of things going on that we got to see really as well. And we just want to touch really on Joris' season so far. Joris has been, I think, a standout out of everybody as well. He's got 4 wins so far to his name. He got the 2 wins in Japan and in Bahrain. He got a 4th place in Hungary. So basically, he's pretty much finished points in every single race apart from round number 6. That was where he wasn't that consistent. He made some mistakes and there's a track where he didn't like, but obviously in Singapore a couple of weeks ago, he was able to bring that consistency back where he needed it to be, and that is why he's obviously 15 points ahead as well. Another consistent season for Elliot as well. He's currently sitting in P5 at the moment on the road. He's got 1 win this season to his name in Las Vegas and also in round number 6 as well. So he capitalised on our championship leader's mistakes. So I wonder if he's going to do that today at the moment. He's on and out lap as well. Last time we were here, season 33, Leo Lund, who is a qualifying specialist around Spain in PCF3, if you were watching that earlier on today, he took the win. Danny Ko took P2 and Miko took P3. So that was the last time PCF4 visited Spain, was in season 33. Also season 32, Lennon Goetze took the win with Rishan in 2nd and Bartos in 3rd. And I believe that was when I think it was the 2nd season on the F1 22 game cycle. So, longest history with motorsport, Spain. The first Spanish Grand Prix taking place in 1913, way before Formula 1 started. It then returned in the 1950s, and the sport visited the Circuit Jahama, which was, I think, one of the first Spanish races as well. There was in the 1980s where the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya was in its recent developments as well. So, he's past turn 6, heading towards turn 7, coming up for a fast left-hander. Drivers need to keep high speed through there, tight line, avoiding the understeer that the drivers could face. Fast uphill right-hander coming up, which requires a lot of position through turn 9. Now this is turn number 10, newly profiled for 2023. Sharper turn, shorter braking zone coming up as well, and now heading towards turn 11 and 12. Another fast left-hander coming up for you as well. As all Elliot has just invalidated, so unfortunately, the commentator's curses seem to happen here in PSGL as well. There we go. Commentator's curses, not good at all. So, we have got, I believe, Andreas about to start his lap as well in Ferrari. I'm trying to see where he is in the driver's standings. Where is he? I think he's reserve, I believe. I might be wrong. But I am trying to find him in the standings. But I'm having a bit of a tough time finding him at the moment. But, oh no, he's P10. He's P10 in the standings. Hasn't had the best second half to the first half of the season, really. He's had 2 DNFs in Las Vegas and Austria. So he didn't compete in round 6 and in Singapore round 7 either. So he's got a point to prove. Obviously, P3 is a much better position than we would expect currently throughout the season. But he needs to carry on the form that he's had at the start of the season. He got a P5 in Japan, which was very, very good. He even got a podium in Hungary, which was really, really impressive. He got a 3rd place. We want to see him continue the form that he's shown there too as well. Xavier, our current pole man, is definitely showing that he's on form at the moment. 110.5 for him. We've got a few more people coming across the line. I think we've got Andreas up to the line as he now goes fastest. So he's now on top. What about his teammate Daniel Perotti? Right now he's gone Alpine right behind him, but he's backed off his lap time. Past the pit lane entry. Now people got to avoid the bump, which hopefully it's been fixed. Keeping my fingers crossed. And a 110.4 for him. So at the moment we got an Aston Martin 1-2, and we got Simone, who comes across the line in P4. I do remember him from the PS days. It's good to see I'm commentating on him again currently as well. We've got a few more people on flying laps. We've got Matthew Basu, who finished 3rd in Singapore. Wants to do a lot better than that. Oh, typical, he goes into the pit lane. So I seem to have another curse where I'm about to say, oh, they're about to cross the line, and then they head into the pit lane. Not ideal. What is Kodo Ingolo doing right now? There he is in a P10 in that Williams. He's about to go into the pits too. Modesta Mena, he is on the hard compounder tyres. Oh, where is he? There he is. Trying to get my keyboard is the best situation as he heads towards turn 3. Don't know why personally he's on the hard compounder tyres. Probably that might be a typical situation that he's usually finds himself in, but maybe he doesn't want to use some stuff, so that might suggest that he probably wants to go onto some softs at the start of the race and maybe do a soft to medium. Now, most people potentially would go on the hards generally in the race, so he's been on one lap on them, and it's going to have kind of a bit of wear already, and it's a bit of high tide deck around here, not as much as previous games. So a bit of a strange one, and he's having to move out the way of other drivers as well. I think a 1:11.7 was what he set on at the hard compounder tyres. So he's going to exit in towards turn 12 now, and he's going to probably go into the pits and just wait there to start one final lap. Joris Krozen right now, as he comes across the line in P12, he sits into P5 right now. I thought Harry and Elliot had set the exact same lap time. Turns out they haven't, as Harry almost took the normal line as what we saw in previous games there. Luckily, that has not happened in a while. Arian's about to start his lap as well in the McLaren. Now, certain drivers haven't scored many points, and since it's a brand new year, brand new start, there's a chance, this race is a chance for their, to get their season back on track. And, I mean, like, some people may want to set goals for the year ahead as well. They may want to get, like, better results, better points consistently, podiums as well. I can see Arian getting points today. I really can. I mean, he's got a lot of work to climb his way up in certain races, of course. But I think I can see getting a good result. I believe he's reserving tonight as well. So, chance for him to climb up a few places to where we would expect, unless they probably change their names or something like that. So here he comes then. As he's got the Ferrari helmet on for good measure in the McLaren, as he goes in towards the final part of the lap. And what's it going to be for the McLaren driver, as he's going to, I think, is an unrepresentative lap and he's invalidated anyway. So the curse, unfortunately, continues for Misjess Games 95. I don't like to be called by my full name there. And it is the calm before the storm. And I would like you to tell me in the comment section down below, who do you think is going to get pole position? We've got Daniela Parodi sitting in P1 at the moment, Andreas in second, and Navier in third. So let us know in the chat who do you think is going to go in pole position. Salman's put in the chat that Sango's on controller, which he's adjusting to. That explains a little bit why he's struggling at the moment. But it does take a while to adapt to certain things. So maybe we'll see him up there near the top one day, potentially as well. But it's good to have some interesting facts about certain drivers, about what they're capable of. And because sometimes when you're learning new equipment, you may not be fast straight away, but you'll be quicker in the long run as you learn to get quicker as it stands. So, you know, that will be interesting to see. So, we have got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Certain drivers are going out on laps now, actually, which is interesting to see. Not what I was expecting, not gonna lie, but he is gonna try to head through in towards 7 and 8 now. Nicely does it as well. Obviously, the home circuit of Fernando Alonso. So, of course, Andres wants to do well for the TES team. As luckily, the AlphaTauri moves out the way for him as he tries to complete his lap. Oh, he's running my racing number. That is interesting. As the grandstand cheering him on, and you've got to take it pretty much mostly at full speed as well, depending on the setup that you use. He's hardly got any ERS to play with, but he goes fast with a 110.443. I wonder if his teammate will have anything to respond to that. Now, interestingly, it's gone early because he wants to pretty much set the benchmark. He wants to put the pressure on majority of the drivers, as we got Simone, who's on a lap right now. X is turn 11 in towards turn 11 now. We'll see if he can beat that as well. I didn't see what his set time was in a sector 2. So here he comes in. He exits the final corner and he goes into the pit. So I think he's going to do one more one. Or I don't think he's going to have enough time, believe it or not. So I think there's just certain drivers out on circuit who just pretty much want to set the benchmark, or they will just want to get rid of some traffic. Now we're going to keep. Hopefully we won't get any illegal blocking, because we've seen that in all the tiers I've commentated in PSGL. We always get like illegal blocking. It's a thing. So let's hope we do not get that tonight, please. That will be absolutely lovely, because I'm on my own currently at the moment. Still no side of my Cocom, but I'm in the Discord channel just in case he does turn up. He might have had a nap, bless him. As Ariana has retired from the session as Matthew Bassler goes up to the line. He does not improve, so I wonder if he's not gonna have time to have another lap, because look, his fuel light is red and he's hardly got any ERS left. So yeah, that is gonna be him done for qualifying. Andreas has also retired, so he's done as well. Let's see how everyone else is doing. Modesta Mena is going onto the soft compounder tyres now. So this is going to be his first competitive lap time. Through sector 1, in towards turn 3 and 4. I love this part of the track. You can take almost flat out. So what? Oh, as he spins into the gravel trap. So it's not going to be a representative lap time for him, as he lost a bit of ground there, hasn't he? So that is his lap done, unfortunately. What about Harry right now as he exits? I didn't catch his sector 1, unfortunately, but he manages sector 1 all right. He almost went into the gravel trap. Oh, we've got one of the AlphaTauris about to complete. No, that was Modesto, I believe. That was thinking. But I mean, his teammate might be on a lap, I think. No, but he's going to dive it into the pit lane. So it is going to be the Red Bull driver who's going to be the first man to cross the line, as Javier is on his outlap. I think he'll just about cross the line in time. He'll be one of the last people to set a competitive lap time. Matthew Bass retires from the session. Harry, I've commentated on him many times before. Has he invalidate at the last opportunity? But it's going to be quicker for him to complete his lap anyway. And he's going to stay in 9th position. Daniele, who's been top for most of today. Is he going to be top now? Up to the line he goes. Raising P2, just 19,000 separating his teammate and himself there as well. 21-4, the first sector for Javier Demine, and the FER man. But we got, I think, the Alfa Romeo of Elliot Noren, who's purple in the final sector. He improves his time a little bit to 5th place. We've got the Haas driver of Variant in 7th spot. We've got the Ferrari driver who's coming up to the line. That is Alan, who could only manage in 14th. We've got the Alpine, who's in 5th place of Joris as well. And Jareem, where is he at the moment? He's heading... Oh, he's backed off a little bit, so he's not going to be able to improve, unfortunately. So it is Andres, who is on pole for today's Spanish Grand Prix to kick off 2024 in style. And that is, of course, as long as he keeps it there for the race, as we got everyone that's retired from the session now. So we will look through your results then as soon as we are able to get them. So here's your results. We got Andres on pole at the moment. I do believe we do have an illegal blocking, so I think we will be having a lobby restart, but I will be double checking that. It's I didn't see that actually. Yeah. So we go Andreas, Danielle, Javier, Simone, Joris, Tope, Elliot, Valiant, Cuba, and Matthew Bassler, your top 10. We got Harry, and then we got Yurim, Cody Mingala, Alan, Modesta Mena, and Ariane, your top 16. So that was very, very interesting, to say the least, for all of our drivers. But before we go to the main action, let's have a quick word from our title sponsor. Now, apologies about that, everybody, that we didn't get to the title sponsor straight away there. Unfortunately, my Stream Deck decided to not play ball currently in the world of PlayStation, PC at the moment. So, as confirmed, we will be having a lobby restart. So, just bear with guys whilst the drivers get ready. Luckily, we will be in the same lobby as well. And my camera is quite laggy at the moment, so I'm gonna have to say like this. There we go. I'm gonna have to say like this at the moment. So just bear with a second for that one. So we got James Head in the chat showing some love for Jess on solo comms. Yeah, I was not expecting to do solo comms tonight. I was prepared to have someone in the comms box with me, and he hasn't shown up. So hopefully he will show up in time for the race, but as I think there was a few other people trying to get in contact with as well. But just bear with guys, we're dealing with the best of a situation that I was not expecting, and luckily I got a solo comms screen on the way as well. So what an interesting qualifying for the Aston Martins, and it makes it an interesting predicament in the Constructors Championship. So here we are then. Our Constructors Championship is as follows. So we've got Alpine currently at the moment with Joris and Jeremy in P1 at the moment. Obviously Jeremy looking to get a much better result tonight. And we've got Ferrari in second, and our pole sitters currently sitting in P6 in the championship. So plenty of chances for them to climb their way through the standings in a little bit more detail. Alfa Romeo doing well in the constructors in P3, with a P2 and P4 last time out. We were here as well. Then we've got Mercedes in fourth on 41 points, Williams in fifth on 30 points, and we got Aston Martin in sixth spot on 27 points. We got Red Bull in seventh on 24, with McLaren in eighth, AlphaTauri in ninth, Haas only 4 points. And if you're looking at the Haas points situation, the only points they got was round number 3 in Hungary. Most of the other situations that they've got was a disqualification or a DNF, or they barely scored points at all, which is not ideal at all. So they've got a lot of work, the Haas team, in order to climb their way up the standings, as well as I nearly left the session, which I do not want to do. No, I definitely do not want to leave the session, Jess. By the way, if you do want to check out the league, make sure you check us out on our socials as I get my camera screen back up. There we go. So make sure you do check us out on our socials. We are at PremiSimGL on Twitter and Instagram. You can also like us on YouTube, like this video, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell if you are new. And also, I know it's the new year and Christmas has been and gone and all that. You can check out our sponsor, GT Omega. 5% off all GT Omega products by using the code PSGL at checkout. Or you can click the link in the description, or you can use the command as well. So make sure you check that out. That will be amazing. I would definitely love the support as well if you get lots of great products at the moment that are out for the new year, which is really, really great to see. We've got our calendar then, and because obviously we had a break for a couple of weeks, a few people are wondering what the calendar is currently. Well, I could definitely tell you right here and right now what our calendar is. So we've got Spain. My stream has gone ahead of itself. So we've got Spain this week. Next Thursday we head to Miami, which is another American track. Obviously, we were there in Vegas in round number 4. Then we got Britain for round 10. Silverstone, the home of British Motorsport, the home for PSGL 2. So I'm very excited to see how they get on from that one. And we got Bahrain to round off the season. And by then we will know who the PC F4 champion is. We've got everyone who is in at the lobby currently, so which is great news, which means hopefully we should be getting underway very shortly for some PC F4 action. I said PC F1 almost there as well. Now, according to James in the chat, he's expecting Daniele Parodi to do well. He's had a strong qualifying and he's done well in previous renditions around Spain. So James is predicting him for the win tonight. So, time for your predictions. I think I'm going to have to go for one of the Aston Martins. And I'm going to have to go for Andres. I think it's Andres. I'm rubbish at names. But he's put under his pressure. He did his time quite quickly towards the end of the session. He didn't care that it was way before everybody else. So the pressure was more on everybody else to deliver more than him, and he did really well. The likes of Simone did very well as well in the Ferrari. I'm expecting him to do brilliantly as well. And there's certain drivers who I felt like could have gone better. For example, Colin Mingola, I was expecting him to do a lot better as well. Matthew Bassett, I expect him to climb his way up. He's improved so much in this game as well. Recently signed to TF10, which I have to say is a brilliant move for the TF10 driver. TF10 is a very strong team, so I think the team are going to welcome him with open arms for certain. And there's certain other drivers I'm going to keep an eye on as well, but I'm sure you guys know a bit more about these drivers than I am as well, so it'll be interesting to see how well they do. So with plenty of rounds still to go in this championship, is anything to play for, and by the end of January we will know who the champion is. I actually won't be here for the PC Silverstone race, I don't think, which is really, really sad, because I'll be travelling that day. I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted, actually. Work, away day, things. But yeah, I just realised that by looking at the calendar. So, yes. And it'll be interesting for you to tell me what has been your memories of Spain as well, because Spain. One of the highlights of Spain for me, obviously, I got a podium here. The last race I did around Spain. Lovely track on this game to do a lot of battles here. First Grand Prix was back in 1991. 35 laps await our drivers this evening. 4.657 kilometres long. And they don't have many star drivers around here in Spain. They only have Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso. And we got one driver in real life that we've seen win plenty of times, and one of which it is Pastor Maldonado. Difficult parts of the circuit to watch out for as well. Turn 1's going to be hard for people in lap 1. They've got to be careful to not miss their braking point, so otherwise we could see a pile up into turn 1. Turn 3. They've got to have a bit more downforce, these cars, because it requires a lot of aerodynamic strength. And if you're not careful, you're going to have some understeer going through turn 3. Turn 9. A lot of courage and position through there. You can take it almost flat out on this year's game, which is really great to see due to the handling model that the drivers will get to use. And the exit turn 9 is very critical again as well. And of course, turn 10, and hopefully people will use the final corner to goodwill as well. So, yeah, those are the difficult moves. And I believe we've got the countdown going, so we are about to get underway once again for some PC F4 action around Spain. Make sure you do leave a like I said, because you will get to see the greatest action here as well. Don't forget, it's not just the PC side. PS begins next Monday for 2024 at 7 and 8 p.m. UK time. So here we go then. We are about to get underway as all 16 drivers hopefully will get their set on very, very quickly. They have been told when the best time will be to ready up as well. So hopefully they will remember their setup. And we get a close eye on the garage too as to what tyres they will go on. I do see some hards, but they may not go for that. They may switch to the mediums at the last minute. Will we see what we saw in a PCF3 and have people go to the oh my god, bloody hell, the soft compound tyres, or will we see people go into the mediums? It's an interesting predicament at the moment as well. I do see some softs on Alan's car. Yeah, I do see some softs on Alan's car. So could we see softs maybe for him, or is it just the game lying to us currently? But we are about to get the 5 red lights. Hold on, let me get my stream deck. There we go. So the 5 red lights are going on right now, and we are underway here for PCF4. And Jez gets a very good start, and so does the McLaren right behind him as well. And it's going to be free ride heading towards turn number 1. They got back out very closely, as one of them does, as a Javier got the best out of anybody up into second place. Joris in the Alpine down the inside of Tobe, heading towards turn 2, and now he's up into 5th spot. Elliot's dropped down into 7th, so not a start where he would have wanted currently at the moment. So I try and move my mic towards the best position so I can see what was going on. There we go, as Colin Mingolo has got the best start that he would have wanted as well, but he's under pressure by the 2 Red Bulls. Harry and Cooper almost going side by side, but to Nerva Vale as well. Simone going to drive down the inside. Oh, he almost had a bit of a scrum through turn 8 there, but looks like he's A-OK. And yeah, looks like he's fine. Oh, someone's binned it. Okay, someone has binned it through turn 10, and we got a safety car already. Full course yellow. Gives me a chance to have a little bit of a breather, because yeah, typical that one. And we got a safety car. So let's go through the tyres then. Hang on a second. Tyres. And let me have a look. Let me have a look at tyres. Hold on, hide you. Right, there we go. So we've got top 4 on the softs. We've got Daniela and Tope on the hard compounder tyres. Matthew Bassett on the soft compounder tyres. Elliot on the hards. Conan Mingolo on the mediums. Harry on the softs. We've got Jeremy on the hards. Cooper on the hards. Alan on the mediums. Aaron on the softs. And Menno's gone into the pit. So I think he's had a little bit of a change of front wing, it looks like. I just looked on Discord and we got a special guest. Hi, Josh.
Indeed you do. Hello. Apparently I've decided I'll come along and join you lot for a remainder of this F4 session. Since F3's finished, I'll be able to add a little bit of insight of stuff I've ended up discovering from our race over an F4. Sorry, over an F3. But yeah, safety car was something we didn't quite often see. I'm just wondering, is there any way for me to get into the game?
I could try. Hang on a minute, because I know you just sent a friend request, and I can't remember how you check friends on Steam. Hang on a second. I haven't used Steam in a long time.
Shift and tab, hopefully.
I've just accepted your friend request. People can see my Steam. I do apologise. I'm trying to figure out how to invite on this game.
Right, I've got an idea.
I don't think I can invite you.
No, you can't. Right, okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, I think I can.
Okay,
For some reason, you have to. It only lets you invite on EA, not on Steam, which is weird.
Right.
But you should have an invite now.
I think I accepted it.
Hopefully it works.
No, it's just decided no. It won't allow it to work. Interesting. Strange features, let's say.
Yeah, strange. It lets you do it on PS, so on PC it's very weird currently. But don't worry. I'll still like to have your insight
Yes,
anyway. That means I
I'll
have
play
to
it by
do
ear.
most of the talking, which is
No, I will just say real quick though. The drivers who started out on the hard tyres decided it would be a good idea to try and stretch it to the softs at the end of a race. Which, I mean, there was a couple laps shy of being able to really mount a challenge to the hard tyre runners at the end. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on Daniel, or Daniele and Tope. So just
I'm
keep an
rubbish
eye
at
out for
names.
them. I know, just keep an eye out for them. I can see them making a good charge, as well as Elliot Noren.
Yes, I'm liking Elliot Noren's progress on the F1 games recently as well, and I think he could potentially go on to the set of the soft compounder tyres later on as well, or maybe if there's another safety car, which is more than likely in this tier, we could see the safety car, more safety cars currently at the moment. I'm trying to remember the button for the menu to disappear. There we go. That's the one. Safety car is in this lap then. And Andreas is good. Andres, I'm rubbish at names, like I was saying, who's going to lead the field away to Bert Mylander in this situation as he's going to exit the final few corners as the safety car comes into the pits. It is a Mercedes safety car this time around. James saying in the chat, not surprised softs are getting used. The tyre deck is a bit lower compared to previous games around some tracks, and Spain is being one of them. I agree with that. So Andreas is going to be leading the field away. And he's got a good restart off the line, and he's using a lot of battery to get there. He's using his overtake, and he's got Javier, who's going to get the toe in towards turn number 1. We also got Joris heading towards turn 1, side by side with Simone, but he decides to back out of it. Everyone is just hanging on with this train right now through turn number 3. That's why we saw a few people having problems last time out. We've got the Williams and Conor Mingolo going side by side with Elliot. Elliot is just struggling a little bit on those tires, but he'll come back to help him later on in the race. He's going to be very, very patient. As all they make contact with the Red Bull as Harry and Elliot spun around. So this day has just gone from bad to worse for the Alfa Romeo driver and the Red Bulls currently, as Elliot's dropped down into 14th place, and it looks like Jeremy could get past soon as well. No safety car. It looks like they all got A-OK, but I wonder. I think Elliot's got some end plate damage missing on his car. His car, he's definitely losing out on a bit of ground. And end plate damage around here is just not nice, is it?
No, it's certainly not the one. We had a little bit of end plate damage in the race we just had as well. It was losing about half a second of lap per sector. It was absolutely manic, but yeah, I'm not going to take full blame for Elliot's incident there, but I do feel like the Casticar certainly helped. That's what I will say. But as we can see, back towards the front of the field as well. We've got the battle heating up, but these guys are just going to be sharing the DRS for when it gets switched on properly, and just sort of following each other through, waiting for an opportunity towards the end of this stint and starting the next one to try and really find an opportunity to get through.
James had just raised a good point in the chat. Elliot did a reset to track, which is not allowed in PSGL. So,
slap on the wrist.
Yeah, slap on the wrist maybe. Yeah, potentially. But if it's not in the way of anybody, it'll be fine. But it was in the way of everybody, so it will be frowned upon currently as well. As no DRS activated yet for some drivers. So I think it'll be lap 6. The drivers will be getting underway with some DRS train, which has been a thing in many races I've competed in on this game as well, because I absolutely love the Spanish Grand Prix as a racer. So I think I'm going to keep an eye on the McLaren as we get heading towards turn 3 and 4, especially as they go side by side. They won't be able to use it here. But look at the Ferrari. He's trying to gain ground on Javier, but he's lost time to Joris as well in P4 as they head towards turn number 1 as he couples off to the inside. No one's making any further ground right now. I think they're just finding a bit their feet a little bit and just keeping calm until potentially their first pit stop, or maybe even another safety car. Knowing these lot as well. But I think so far everyone has got A-OK. We've got Joris using less battery than normal. I think a lot of the top lot are using, I think, about 86. I think it's the ones near the back that is using quite a lot, which could compromise them at the end of the race. Elliot's damage doesn't seem to be affecting him too bad, as he's staying out and he's in the top 12. Don't forget PSGL top 10 score point, so he's still within that bubble to try and get some points today for the Alfa Romeo team. Well, it won't be Alfa Romeo anymore in real life. I don't like the name. to be honest, that they've got going on
No,
as well.
it's
It's too
Sauber.
complicated.
It's Sauber. Let's be honest here, Jess. It's completely Sauber. Doesn't matter what they call it. It's Sauber to us. But you mentioned Elliot Noren as well. I feel like he's in probably one of the better positions here, despite maybe carrying a little bit of damage. Purely because he is on that hard compounded tyre. He's got so much more freedom on the soft tyre runners and the medium tyre runners to really try and stretch it out a little bit more. As we do have Omi and Edme on the chat saying hi. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. Welcome to F4. We're here.
Yeah, we are here. The lower tiers are here. Let's give the lower tiers some love as well, because they do deserve it as well. I know me and Josh ourselves cover the higher tiers, but the lower tiers definitely deserve some love as well. So,
Exactly.
yeah, they are streamed for a reason because they're good drivers.
We've got another one as well, Jess. Admire Foot. Hello. There you go. Everyone's saying hi at this point.
Yeah, everyone's saying, they're just finishing their races. They're just finishing their races, you see, some of them. Maybe from lower division. Apparently there's going to be some ads for some people, and it won't let me turn it off, which is very odd. But as a yellow flag, as Arian is out of the race, and we got a safety car.
Oh, I had a great pleasure of casting over Sanya in last season here at PSGL. It's unfortunate.
He's on controller as well tonight.
Oh, that's insult to injury. It's just a couple of these small issues, right, which really end up setting him back miles in the championship, and it's not deterrent of his pace, because he has an abundance of pace, same as every driver here at PSGL, to be quite frank with you. There's a reason we're here, and there's a reason we're competing in the top divisions, but a part of me just feels bad for Sanya. He doesn't deserve this amount of unfortunate luck. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I am gutted for him as well, which means we've got a second safety car, and we've got people into the pits. I think most people are going to go onto mediums. That is a smart move, because for most people, they have got two sets of mediums to play with. And if they did not start on the mediums, they could technically do two mediums to the end if they wanted, make it a two-stop race, which is quite smart. But we got Kylo Ngolo, who's gone for something different. He's gone for the hard compound, and Modesto's gone for hard as well. But don't forget, he's on the tyres that he's used in qualifying, unless he's gone for the harder option and has got more hard in his back pocket. Got Jeremy, who's come into the pit lane, who is going on to some hard too. Harry, I think, is going to stay out. Yep, he stayed out as well. Top three have stayed out, and we know how much these softs last. Is that a smart move, do you think?
No, I can't see it being a smart move in the slightest, because at this point, you know, if they're going to be backed up behind the safety car, they surely shouldn't be able to pit now, right? If they pit now, they've lost too much time. But if they stay out, they're just going to get munched and devoured by the hard and the medium tyre runners behind them. So it's really going to come down to how well are they going to be able to work together. Maybe not even the top three. I'm also going to include Daniele in that as well. With 7 old hard tyres, like it's not in a great position. So I'd expect these 4 to maybe, you know, start tapping their heads together and thinking of some sort of plan. Maybe they start rotating positions, maybe going too wide down the straight, just to make sure there's no real opportunities for the cars behind to get an overtake in a traditional sense, really forcing them to try and use up a bit more of their tyres, a bit more of the ERS. So when it comes to the later stages in the race, their tyres are going to be in a worse position, because it wouldn't surprise me if you start seeing some of these hard tyre runners try and stretch these tyres to the end.
Speaking of someone who was in the top 4 on the softs, he's probably followed your lead and come in, but he's going to lose so much time being at the back. But at least he's not going to get swamped.
Exactly. Because that, you know what they say, safety cars breed safety cars, Jess, and if you end up getting stuck in a position where the cars are trying to bomb it down the inside, round the outside, just going through you like you're not there, it's almost a guarantee for a safety car, especially coming straight off the back of another safety car. It's going to be so tough for these drivers to try and fight it out and sort of retain themselves in that position.
Yeah, I think we could get more. I think probably, hopefully, we won't get any more safety cars. Please, people, because I will cry if we get any safety cars. So
tell you what, I'll start doing a rain dance. We'll see how that one works out.
Oh, it is known to rain at PSGL Spain. I have commentated on rain PSGL races on F1 2020, believe it or not.
I know, we had a little trickle earlier as well in F3, so my rain dance clearly does work. I just maybe need to just change my footwork a little bit.
Oh. Yeah, potentially. Yeah. And well, whilst we I think safety car is gonna come in this lap. It is coming in this lap. I just missed that. Final cheeky plug for our title sponsor, GT Omega. Use command GT Omega in chat. I just popped it up on the screen for you as well. I was going to do it earlier on, but I picked up at the wrong time. Typical me. But 14 drivers left in the field. And, Javier's got so close to Aston Martin. He's leaving it very, very late to get going then. Up to the line. So here he comes then. For the third time tonight, we go green flag racing here at Spain. Andreas this time has less plateau to the likes of Javier and Simone as well. But we've got Joris down the inside of Daniele Perotti in towards turn number 1 then. On those fresher hards, the fresher tyres on this game has a huge advantage as we got Simone has gone off a little bit through in towards turn 3. You can start to see Simone getting absolutely swamped by the ones on the fresher rubber on the more durable tyres. The top 2 seem to be managing A-OK, but Simone not doing ever so well right now. Elliott, by the way, by pitting on the fresher rubber and also getting his front wing change, he's already up into 8th place. So you see, he's got to learn to be patient, and the patience is definitely coming to him right now on those medium tyres. Matthew Batter gets past Simone now, up into 6th spot. So yeah, Simone strong out there on those softs. So is Javier as well, as Joris now tries to go for a move up the inside in towards turn 11. And the rain dance might be working. It is getting a bit darker on the circuit.
I told you, it was the footwork. That's all I was missing, honestly. But no, as you mentioned, like it's going to be inevitable that these older tyres are going to get overtaken here. By the likes of Joris and by Toto as well. But it's just about how much time they're going to lose being overtaken.
Oh,
Joris!
Real interesting part. Joris goes for the lead in towards turn number 1. And I think it was inevitable. It was inevitable that Andres was going to get swamped. So Joris from Alpine in the lead of this race as we go, I think, side by side from the Mercedes, Tope and Andres once more. And he's going to try and go in towards, I think, turn number 5 and 6. There he goes then. I think, yeah, the soft runners are definitely getting eaten up.
Yeah, it was a brilliant move by Tope, though, to be able to have the trust to hold it around the outside there. We've seen real drivers like Kimi Räikkönen not give space there. So very bold and very brave. And fair play as well. Wow. Absolutely brilliant work from these guys here so far. They're creating a very entertaining race. As we've got Malcolm in chat cheering for Jeremy. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah, he's going to hope that he's getting the points. And for those of you that don't know, Warzone player is Jeremy. Because I didn't know that when I first started. So it is Jeremy. I had to double check that. But yeah, he's saying let's go in the points. He's in the points right now. He's getting 1 point as it stands. And technically, he could get to the end, but it's going to be very hard for him to do so. Meanwhile, it's not his teammate. Matthew Bassett gets past Andres up into 3rd. Modesta Manor, his teammate, gets past Daniele Perotti up into 9th. So those older hards not doing well for the Aston Martin team, who's looking to capitalise on their qualifying. Not doing as well here right now as we've got Alan Bantanak, I think that's how you say it. He gets past out. Yeah, Aviero's going to be 3 wide. Oh, someone's got to back out surely through turn number 6. Someone does, luckily, as Alan is up into 6th place already on those mediums. He's now going to chase down Elliott for 5th. The medium runners are having a time of their life right now. Don't forget, Elliott was near the back at the first safety car, and he's already up to 5th.
I know, it's been an absolutely fantastic tear so far. Despite having that little incident, these fresh mediums are clearly proving the dividends to be pitting onto it. And, it's going to be one of those where he's going to just be trying to reel back in and keep, using my battery to get back with him a DRS and keep building the pressure to really try and hunt down Matthew Bassett and not let Alan in the Ferrari behind really try and mount the pressure on him. That's going to be the key thing. He's just being able to find himself and run his own race. That's how he's going to find himself in the best position towards
Tope gets the lead. Tope gets the lead of this race, and he gets past Joris for P1 then, and he's doing a brilliant job in that Mercedes to keep it up there at the moment. This could be vital for the championship. We do not have long until the end of this championship. End of January is where we end, as Modesto Mena gets past Andres Franco up into 5th spot. So the order is changing quite rapidly. Purple in the first sector, Modesto Mena, but it might be just a game glitch currently. I think the ones on the mediums could be on for a very smart move, because if it does rain, they're going to be on the best tyre available until the rain comes. Or you never know, the game could be deciding to be like, you know what, be dark, and then it'll just be sunny again later on in the race.
Yeah.
You never know.
Real question: am I still dancing? You can't tell. I'm just so
He's
still
dancing.
You don't know whether I'm dancing or not, because I'm not taking every breath, but it's just because I'm built different. And someone else who's going to be looking trying to build different is Joris on those hard tyres. Now, do you really want to go for the move, or do you just want to sit back and bide your time?
Well, he's right on the back of him as well. He's got gained quite a bit of slipstream from Tope in front. We've got Alan Bassinat trying to do the same thing in towards turn number 1, and he does that up into 6th. But believe it or not, I'm surprised the two soft runners are staying out. Are they praying at something? If a safety car comes out, they'll be back in this race. If there's no safety car, they're pretty much screwed at this point on, really. They just have to come in, otherwise they're going to be in a lot of trouble. But I'm just looking at Tope's ERS levels. He's got 44. Yours is on 65, so he can burn a bit more battery to try and get past Tope, whereas Tope has got to probably have to use it more strategically to his advantage. I don't think Yoris is going to be using his ERS yet. I think he's just going to, maybe he's going to try and get past just before they maybe make their final pit stop. I'm questioning on whether Yoris is going to stay to the end of this race. I think he might try and give it a go. We have seen people do it as well, as Jeremy gets past Javier up into 8th spot.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it and we mentioned it earlier. Those soft tyre runners, they're praying for a safety car at this point, because without it, they're going to be in such low positions that even if they do fight their way back through the field efficiently and effectively, they'll still only be looking at roughly where they are now, because they would have had to use the ERS to catch back up, to get within the DRS, to then burn the tyres to try and get the overtake sorted on the likes of P14, 13, 12. Just trying everything in their power to catch back up to the pack will end up costing them so much time and so much resources that it's going to be so difficult for them to keep mounting the challenge further up the field.
Yeah, indeed. And obviously with their time management, it's going to be so key towards the end as well, because they're going to have to think, will everyone else come in or they stay out? And they just got to be smarter than everyone else. They've got to use their gut feeling. Remember what we've seen in many real life races where they made it the 2-stop race, and some people were going to do 1 stop originally, but they had to do a 2-stop to answer to their rivals, because otherwise they were going to close in quite massively as well. So it's going to be very interesting, I have to admit, as well, towards the end of this one. We're going to be approaching lap 16 of 33, and we've got different tyre compounds being used for our top 2. Matthew Bassett right on the back of this as well, but he's got the least battery out of the 3 of them to use. But if I was him, I would potentially just wait, just save a bit more battery until the crossover point, as we've got Andreas and into the pits a little bit later than usual, but at least he's coming. But look at the time he has lost in the pit lane. He's going to be right behind Javier in P14. Harry's getting past Daniele Perotti into P10, but the top 3 not budging right now currently. They're just minding their own business. I think they're class their own at the moment, because look at where Elliott is compared to the top 3. 2 seconds behind Matthew Bassett, and he's got Matthew Bassett's teammate Modesta Mena right behind him as well. I think the top 3 are working together very well to make sure that no one else could stay on top of them, and that could be very key towards the pit stop phase. Let's watch Joris now. Can he get past now in towards turn number 10? He's going to go for it. No, he's backing off. He's backing off. He could have got past without DRS. Tope almost made a mistake there on the exit turn 11.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, because it's now got to this point where you can see how much Tope is having to push those mediums. And I'm wondering, has he maybe overcooked the tyres a bit? Because he seems to be very much struggling just to apply a little bit of that throttle. You saw it going through, as I named it, the DeFreeze little tunnel on the circuit. It's going to be a tough one. But no, I will just point out as well, Jeremy, P7, still within the DRS allowance. He's going to be looking to continue his way up. As Joris ends up, just about getting ahead, but I'm wondering, is that the correct call? Because now it's going to be his role to burn up the ERS to try and stay ahead of Tope. And Tope can take it easier for a couple laps, rebuild the ERS, and then towards the final set of the race, is Joris going to put, as he sort of boxed himself into a bad position? That's what I'm wondering.
I think if it was a track like Las Vegas, Monza, where straight line speed is OP, you wouldn't want to be at the front. Whereas here is a bit more difficult to overtake in a straight line. So I think heading towards lap 30, if they all decide to stay out, yours will be at an advantage. But it does depend on what the top three do. I think Matthew Bassett is definitely the one in the better position, because he can see what the other two are doing and think, you know what, I could do the opposite. Those two are not coming in. I want to come in on the fresher rubber and try and close in on this lot. But it's going to be hard to overtake as well. So it's going to be a really tough course. Alan and Cuba going side by side. Someone's taking a bit of the polystyrene ball in towards the final corner. That's an interesting line to take as well. We got some great battles happening towards the midfield. We got 6% ERS usage from Alan. So he is trying to stay within touching distance of these guys, but with the compromise of his ERS. And we got Modesta Mena catching up to Elliot. Elliot's medium tyres are starting to wear out a little bit quickly than expected. I am seeing Modesta's got a bit of marbles on his tyres though from earlier on, but that's because the hard tyres are a little bit difficult than the mediums at this stage. But Modesto is going to be, I think, he's going to be patient at this stage, because he knows that his tyres will come through. And technically, they're almost within that train. But I wonder if Modesto gets past, will he be able to catch up to the top three?
I mean, he was originally ahead of Elliot for just a little bit of time. I don't know whether maybe Elliot wanted to, you know, swap positions backwards and forwards, try and get a bit of DRS train, and Modesto didn't want anything to do with it. He didn't want to catch up to his teammate. More than happy to make it as awkward as possible for Elliot to try and catch up, knowing that in the long run, Modesto could be looking at a net P2 depending on how the pit stops will play out, and if he's able to sort of harvest his battery up a little bit more just to burn it on the right points on the in-lap to make sure he can get maybe a bit of an overcut or maybe a bit of an undercut compared to the medium tyres, because realistically, at this point of the race, I reckon all the drivers could potentially pit onto soft tyres, make it to the end quite comfortably, but it'll be those who have decided just to try and eke it out a little bit more on these tyres, just to suffer a bit longer to make sure their softs are just sweet as possible towards the end of a race. And that's where the time is really going to be made, as we've got so many different drivers racing their own races here. It's absolutely fantastic to watch, and it's a great amount of diversity across the grid.
Alan to the inside of Kuba as they exit in towards turn. I can't remember what turn number it is. Turn number 6. And we also got the Colomigolo as well. He's looking to get some points. He almost overtook both of them, but Alan managed to stay ahead right now. Jeremy is ahead of these lot as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in the same DRS as well, all on the same amount of tyre length as well. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how Alan could hold on to these guys in front, because they're going to be on the more durable rubber very, very soon too. So that is going to be interesting to say least. I think about lap 22, 23, we'll see, I think, people go on to the soft tyres if they have some left, because don't forget, there are some people that did start on the soft compounder tyres at the start, but they were only on it for 1 lap. But some of them might have used their tyres from qualifying, so we'll see how they fare on here, as we've got pretty much 14 laps to go until the end of this one. Anything can happen, as Joris managing to keep ahead once again, but for how much longer? He's got 66% of ERS, whilst Tope got. He's got around about the same, so pretty much even on pace. I'm trying to look on board and seeing if we have any spots of rain, but
I'll tell you something though.
No rain.
Tope's recharged his battery by about 30% since
He has.
off the lead. Joris, on the other hand, hasn't changed. Tope is playing into Tope's hands at this point. And if it played into Tope's hands, imagine Matthew Bassett's hands. They must be covered with gold at the minute. He must be looking at this and licking his lips, finding any sort of opportunity that these guys are going to be battling. They won't be losing time. Matthew could be thinking overcut, undercut. It doesn't matter what he's going to go for. He's going to be right in the middle of these two, scrapping it out with them right until the end of the race. And Matthew, so far, if I'm going to have to make a prediction at this point, Jess, I think Matthew might have it.
Oh, that is a very bold statement as well. I think I could see him up there as well. I don't think he's got to win this season. And imagine for him to get the first win in this tier in 2024, that would be a huge achievement. So I think he could just take excuse me, he could take a backseat out of all of this for these later stages, and then towards the end he can save his battery and then really start to push at the end, whereas the top 2 would have run out by then, or maybe the top 2 are listening right now and probably no, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to save battery. So you never know, they could be doing completely the opposite to what we're saying on the stream right now. That is why we are in the commentary box and they're racing out on track. And Let us know your predictions in the chat. We're keen to chat to you in the chat. Malcolm's still rooting for Jeremy at the moment. He's coaching in P6 currently. So he's rooting for him to do well. Let's see what Matthew Bassett can do as he goes on to corner entry in turn 10. Corner exit is more important, I found, than corner entry. So I think he didn't do it too well, but at least he didn't get a bit of a squirm in towards the turn 12. So he stays in P3 for now. And I think he's just going to be patient at this stage. He can't afford his tyres to go, though. That's going to be the crucial factor. And I think he's going to be the one to blink first out of everybody. Is he going to try and go for the move? He's got the DRS, but I think we got a battle for the lead. Tope versus Euros. I think Matthew, if I was him, I would back out quite easily here, which he does. And Tope is your race leader for now. Euros in second, Matthew Bassett in third. We've got a poll in the chat. Who do you think's the favourite to win? Please vote. And someone put other Jeremy question mark. Very nice, very nice.
I wonder who did that.
Yeah. Well, it can't be me because I.
Jeremy's won. There we go. Decided. Fan vote for the winner.
Fan favourite.
Imagine if we did that at PSGL. It'd be something else. It's 50-50. Yoris has had a vote there.
Like fan boost in Formula E.
Yes, but instead they just win. That's it.
Gives you like more ERS power or something, or like more. I don't know.
Just opens up the DRS whenever they get a vote, so you could just do it to sabotage someone.
Imagine if you put opening a DRS in the corner, though.
Exactly.
That wouldn't go down very well, especially around Zandvoort when there is a banking. Like, I've seen people open their ERS around there, and it's not ended well. I think you're just going to try and go for it once again. The more they keep squabbling, the more that it's allowing Matthew to save some ERS. And I think he's saving them. Yeah, he is saving a bit. And Tope is hardly using any.
Yeah, Modesto's also back within the DRS as well. So him and Elliot Noren are fully back into this. It might be a five-way fight for the race win here, potentially, if pit stops all play out in a similar way.
Shame we can't add more people to the poll.
Yeah, it is. A limit of 4. I mean, just got to have to assume that everyone who's voting other is voting for Jeremy. Not Modesto, not Elliot Noren. It's all Jeremy. I see Malcolm in there. Big Jeremy fan.
And Admire as well has voted Jeremy as well in the chat.
Oh, true. It doesn't help you with the Paxton Ultimate Team, mate. I will tell you that much. But enough of that, because Modesto here is currently under a bit of pressure from Elliot Noren, who might be looking for an opportunity to maybe strike going down that main straight. And personally, for me, that would be the place where I would want to go for an overtake, going down into turn 1. Use a bit of ERS, have the DRS to use as well. You could maybe coast by before even the braking zone if you get a good enough exit, but it's all dependent, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very dependent around this track, and the race has gone a little bit quickly than I thought as well, which doesn't leave enough chance for people to go for moves here as well. And I think we could see, you're not allowed to do team tactics in qualifying, but you're allowed to do team tactics in the race. We could see both of the AlphaTauris maybe working together potentially. As I thought, and Elliot's also in that train as well. So we've got 5 cars in that far. I don't think Kuba is going to catch up. Not gonna lie. And speaking of catching up, here comes Jeremy around the outside. As he tries to, and Alan tries to go to cut back in the inside through turn 7. Lovely race between the pair of them as well. Up the hill, as Jeremy's not going to give up without a fight. Through towards turn 9, and Alan stays in P7. And Codeman got it in that Williams trying to have a piece of the pie as well. Through turn 10, he's going to go for a lovely send. Oh, they make contact. Alan and Codeman going to make contact. That's going to allow Jeremy to have a brilliant gap up front in P7. He's gained a few places out of that. He's gained 1 place, but yeah, that was a huge shame.
Fan boost. I'm telling you, fan boost. Gave him a future sight to understand what was going to happen to the drivers in front. Unfortunate contact there. Just, all the drivers pushing so hard. If one of them ends up losing the rear slightly, it can have such a catastrophic consequence for the, rest of the drivers who are directly behind them. That's part of the close racing here, but Jeremy was able to find his way through. And, with Daniele behind him on 24-old lap hard tyres, he should be able to get a little bit of breathing space for the time being.
Yeah, I think there's just certain people that have been on those tyres for quite a long time. That's probably why they're struggling a little bit. Daniele is the only driver who's not pitted yet. He hasn't stopped. He has to make a stop in this race. He'll get disqualified otherwise. He's praying for a late safety car, which could happen, could not.
I don't know, because surely at this point, you would just try and go on with softs, because we had it slightly earlier in F3 where Tony Roche tried to last for hard tyres up until lap 26 and ended up getting a double puncher on his rear right and front left. And it was a sight watching him get back to the pits in Sector 3, I will say that much. So
Daniele, if you're watching, pit this lap, please.
Daniele pitted lap 1, apparently.
He pitted lap 1, okay. I thought
good spot. But
I thought he hasn't pitted. He says pitted like 25 laps.
But we're on lap 26.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right?
As by the way, Colin Mingole gets past Daniele up into 8th spot.
Oh, I'm not sure, but keep an eye on Daniele's tyres, because yeah.
I think it's going to punch, I think, next lap, I think. Actually, no, what? Because we've had two safety cars already. So,
true.
Did you have any safety cars in PCF3?
No, we didn't. So potentially, if he's looked after him, he might be able to take it to the end, but it's still a very strong might.
Yeah, I think probably it'll last lap 30, 31 then.
Interesting. Oh, we've got Diego saying rain is imminent.
Oh, so you see? So the rain dance maybe could... Oh, rain! It's raining.
Still listing my moves. What can I say?
As Modesta Mena has gone into the pit lane. That's early, I think. But when it rains, it pours on F123. But I still think it's too early.
Is it Intus?
It's hard to tell. Intermediate tyres. There's some damp patches around this circuit.
It's very brave. I mean, the rain is absolutely coming down at this point, isn't it? It's not just like a little light sprinkle. It's absolutely chucking it down. It's raining cats and dogs, to be fair. I mean, Catalonia's no surprise.
Simone's in as well. Javier's in. Yeah, Javier's in as well.
I mean, this has got to be the time, right? Modesto here could be looking at potentially maybe running away with
the victory.
P1 so far here, if he's able to keep it on the track and get those intermediates in their working window, because so far, just looking at the delta to Andreas Franco in front of him, he's catching rather quickly, to say the least.
Yeah, I think we got to keep an eye on the delta. If it's closing in quite fast, we know the Inches are the best tyres. If it's not, then it might not be quite yet. But I think it is coming down fast. So maybe... Oh, his teammate's coming in. Matthew Bassett is coming in. And I think that is not a bad move, because we could start to see the wet on the medium tyres. And we will see if it's the right tyre, if there's spray coming through the tyres. But it's still quite dry, so at the moment, even though the gap's coming down, most people near the back is coming in. It's only the top 5 that are staying out. Interesting.
But at that point, is it going to be too little too late for him to decide to go onto the intermediates? Would they be better trying to struggle it out for this, last 5-6 laps? Just trying to edge those tyres right to the end of this race. And I don't know. I feel like they would just naturally lose a little bit more time as Modesto and Matthew Bassett come out so close. You can already see Modesto looking here for a provisional lead. 4 seconds the difference. I mean, surely at this point, if you're in the top 5, you're thinking about staying out.
Yeah. Oh, I can see drops on the track. I think it's Inters. I think it's intermediate time. And you can see the gap coming down thick and fast. And I think it's going to be too little too late for the ones that have stayed out. So we could see an AlphaTauri 1-2, and Jeremy could be in P3.
I'm not sure how Malcolm's worshipped this into fruition, but whatever he's done, please tell me the instructions, please. Get your driver up into P3.
It's definitely Inters. It's definitely Inters. There's spray coming out everywhere. So Joris comes in. Elliot, I thought Elliot was staying out then. Bloody hell, he's not. Okay, good. Everyone's coming in now. Let's just watch Modesta now coming out in towards the final corner. This is going to be an entertaining last couple of laps in this race. Oh, it's going to be so exciting towards the start-finish straight. And is Modesta Mena going to come out in the lead of this race? Swoops round the outside of the Mercedes as Tope is in third. But Joris just about comes out ahead of Modesta Mena on the fresher rubber. And by the way, Modesta Mena started near the back of the grid and he's up to second. He's having a really great race. But I think maybe he pitted maybe a lap too early, potentially, as DRS has been disabled.
Yeah, I mean, realistically as well, Modesto's going to have those tyres warmed up slightly more than the drivers around him, so he's going to have to go really defensive here just to try and wait it out. But we've seen it time and time again here at PSGL, that just having 2 lap older tyres can make all the difference when it gets to that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lap old stage, where, you know, the pace is going to be almost completely different. So Modesto might have called it perfectly in order to get himself slightly further up the field for track position, and very much a George Russell sort of strategy. Get him a track position, but consequently, you know, costing him maybe a little bit of pace when it gets to the dying embers of a race.
And that's going there we go. And that's going to allow, I think, the likes of Joris to really pull away from the likes of Modesto and Tope in front. And that is not what Tope wants, because he was actually battling with Joris earlier on. And crucially, he has got past Modesto Mena in towards turn number 1. So the win that Modesto would have hoped, unfortunately, is not coming into fruition right now, which just goes to show, I think, the pace difference between some of these drivers. Elliott could be on course to get a podium as he goes side by side in towards turn number 4. Modesto Mena cuts to the right-hand side of him. And I think Elliott's going to get the podium signed, sealed and delivered maybe in towards turn 5 and 6. Elliott, I think, is going to get this one done. Yes, he does. Elliott Norton into 3rd place in this race. But most crucially, can he keep it there for the remainder of this race and close up? Could he maybe potentially get the race victory? Who knows? There could be plenty of stories still to be told here at the moment. Only one time penalty, and that belongs to Alan Bantonac in P13. Everyone else has got hardly any time penalties currently. And Joris still leads out in front with Tope in second. Would it be too little too late, maybe?
I mean, potentially, but Tope and Elliott Norton are going to have to start working together if they're going to be looking to try and close down Joris. We do have results from the poll. 33% of people said Joris was going to win, and so far, it's not looking like a bad call. And yeah, I do have to agree with Admira as well.
So do I.
Elliott has had an absolutely stormer of a race. I mean, think about spin, think about starting far back, think about
play damage.
Maybe questionable choices as well to go for overtakes, where you wouldn't necessarily see him. As mentioned, going around the outside first, swinging it back to the inside, and then just squeezing Modesto out. A very mature and very experienced sort of style of driving. It's fantastic to see. So, potentially, even if he doesn't necessarily get the win, I reckon he'd probably be my driver of the day.
Not a bad shout, to be honest, as well. I think he's just proven that you just do not give up. Even if you fight at the back, he just has the pace around it. Imagine what it could have been if he didn't make those mistakes. He could have been fighting for the win right now. I think he literally could have been fighting for the win if he didn't make those mistakes. But towards the end of this race, he's pulling off the strategies to perfection. And you can see that Modesto Mena has lost a lot of time to Elliott right now. 2.8 seconds. And Matthew Bassett is starting to close in right now as well. So I think it was a lap too early for Modesto Mena. Maybe he should have put it at the exact same time as Matthew Bassett did. As Jeremy's out. Jeremy is out this race. It's going to be too late for a safety car. Now, where was that? Hold on.
It's De Vries. It was De Vries' corner.
It was De Vries' corner.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
At least it's not in an AlphaTauri. That would have added insult to injury. Oh, that's really unfortunate for Jeremy as well. He has it's such a good run. But there's that little part in the middle of a race where you could potentially see him, you know, nabbing a podium. If not P4, P5, but...
Some great moves he made as well.
Exactly. Oh, I had such a good run. There's that the CPF3 winner in the chat I can see there.
Hey,
it is.
Well done.
But Joris here, in the intermediate conditions, he's still pulling away from Tope as well.
3.2 seconds is the gap.
He's done a bit of Inters practice. I think he has. Just a bit.
I wonder if he's running a wet setup right now.
Potentially. It would have been a very big gamble, especially during the dry portion of the race.
But don't forget, we had a lobby restart, so they would know about the weather in advance, so they could have just spent a bit whilst waiting for the lobby just to tweak it, so it's kind of like a balance between the dries and the wet, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure if you're allowed to do that stuff, but...
I don't believe you are, but as long as it's a front wing change or anything you would be able to change in the park permit.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like you are
so maybe he did it in qualifying where he probably put a bit more downforce than intended on the car. But he was still... or maybe he's just good in all conditions. I think he's just good in all conditions. Final lap, by the way, of this race.
I mean, it's been a brilliant drive from the drivers. I mean, to be fair, having 13 drivers out of the 16 still in the race, it's not a bad turnout. It's not a bad end. And
only 3 DNFs.
Drivers are able, the fact the drivers are able to still keep it on the track, and this rain at this point, you would start questioning whether, full wets would potentially be a safer round, let's say, than the intermediate tyres, given the amount of spray and the amount of water on the circuit as well.
No standing water yet, though, so...
Yeah, you're not seeing the big puddles form, but they're just not close enough to one another on the track to really get some sort of a greasy line or at least tyre treads forming, which,
Yoris is about to cross the line to finish this race. He could burn all his battery if he wanted to, but I don't think it's going to make that much difference because he's going to come across the line to take the first win in 2024, and he wins the Spanish Grand Prix. A very great drive from him. And I think that helped with a lot of the other drivers being caught up in the pit lane exit. Tope finishes second. Elliott from potentially last on lap 1 and 2 to get on the podium. One of our contenders for driver of the day. Same with Modesto Mena. He was managing to just about hold on to his teammate for 4th place. And Matthew Bassett in 5th. Daniele Pirelli, a great comeback from him as well. Kodo Mingolo, nice race from him as well in 7th. Harry in 8th. There we got Harry and Andreas coming across the line, and I think we're just waiting for one of the Ferraris. There we go. That is it then for the racing. And it was a drive to wet one. Changeable conditions. And driver of the day in game is going to go to Modesto Mena. I think Elliott, Modesto and RP1 winner, I think, huge contenders as well. But there's been so many great drives today. Generally, it's been, apart from some dodgy incidents, it's been mostly very, very clean. So, well done.
Yes. Absolutely brilliant race, brilliant all round. But I'll tell you what, Jess, do you know what I reckon would make this podium celebration even better?
What?
If they could just have a sit down and pop a champagne on maybe a GT Omega gaming chair.
Ah, yes. Maybe they can use 5% off GT Omega products by using the code PSGL at checkout to celebrate their winnings.
Potentially.
They could maybe, then in our chairs, they've got the reclining action as well. They could just have a little bit of a lie down on there. It's very comfy, by the way. So hang on a minute. I could try and get the thing up. Oh, it's not working. The overlay's not working. Never mind. Oh. Anyway, we'll go through your results and then we'll get the overlay in a minute. Yours wins from Topia in 2nd, Elliott in 3rd. Then we got Modesto Mena in 4th. Then we got Matthew Bassett, Daniel Pirelli, Colin Mingala, Harry Javier, Andreas for top 10. They'll be getting points. Now the rest of your grid. Unfortunately, Jeremy, Aran and Valiant have retired from the race. Simone got fastest lap, but unfortunately he won't be getting the point for that. Actually have to be inside the top 10. Alan did get a 3-second time penalty, the only 3-second time penalty. There is a few things going on in the chat in French, which I can't understand, but...
Allez les bleus!
Allez les bleus, yeah.
Allez les bleus!
Which was probably to the Alpine team there as well.
Absolutely, but you think about it, right? We've gone from Singapore to Spain, which is a huge change, and we're going to be chucking it back to Miami, which again is another huge change before we go to maybe some more traditional circuits at Britain and Bahrain. It'll be very interesting to sort of see how these drivers sort of find their way out and sort of challenge themselves at these circuits. I feel like it'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, Miami, I have to say, is another Grand Prix where it has changeable conditions. I think most Grand Prix I've raced in Miami, I've had experienced rain, either as a commentator or in the cockpit racing myself, and I just don't like racing in the rain around Miami. I just haven't found the right setup yet. But hopefully these drivers will be able to manage it more effectively than we are. Hopefully we could get some interviews potentially, but I don't know these drivers very well. So we might have to wait until maybe next week once we get our regular commentators back. No idea what happened to Zach, but we know with Myth at least we'll see him back next week. He's had some commitments that has been pre-arranged for this week, but he will be back next week. Hopefully it all went well for Myth this week, and he can join us, or he can join Zach in the commentary box next week. But yeah, I enjoyed that one. Hope he'll get someone in, but whilst we wait, it was a pleasure to have someone in the box with me rather than being on my own. But yeah, I would have probably struggled on my own, to be fair, but a bit of a last minute situation to be in.
Absolutely, yeah, it's just way it is sometimes. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll just see real quick. Okay.
What?
There's questions about why the soft tire runners didn't decide to pit. Apparently it was a calculated risk. That's bold.
So were they hoping for rain early on in the race, or were they hoping for more safety cars?
I was hoping for something, but whatever something was, they were fortunate that the rain did come at that time, so they was able to sort of still find a way through it. But it's a risky one to play with, and I'm not sure whether it would probably be the best decision, but nevertheless, they've been able to pull through it, and they've got themselves a handful of points, which I'm sure will help them in their championship battle.
And the ones who pitted onto mediums in the second safety car, I think they were the ones who benefited from that.
Yes, absolutely. Wholeheartedly agree with you at that point.
Yeah, and I think some people on the soft struggled, but some of the people on the softs did very well and had a bit of a comeback as well. So I think we won't keep you a moment longer. We will go interviews. I'm not sure if they do interviews or not. So that's probably why I haven't got any messages, because I don't think they do. So we're going to leave it there. So thank you guys so much for watching PCF4, not the tier that we usually commentate on, but back to usual next week. I'll be back doing PSF1 at 8 PM UK time on Monday if you want to check me out there with James Head. And we also got PSF2 on at 7 PM UK time, as well as PSF4. We also got F3 and F5 next week as well. And then the PC tiers will be back next week for the Mystery Grand Prix for PCF1 with George Morgan and Dan Field. I don't know what track it's going to be. It's going to be a great track, I bet. And obviously Thursday we'll be back.
Rainbow Road.
Rainbow Road?
Yep. Get them on Mario Kart.
Get them on Mario Kart on Assetto Corsa. How about that?
Oh, there we go. That's a shout.
There is a mod for that. Quadrant have that mod, believe it or not. Anyway, on that bombshell, we'll leave it there, and I will play our final title sponsor for one final time. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time for some more PSGL action. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
He's got the inside off, here he's through on the left hand side, hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now, his finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium once again. The GOAT is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.